you have this other season of life that says, oh boy, here's the things I was told early on. Here's the steps I took. Here's the things that went well, and here's where I might have fallen short. How am I doing? Right? So actually there's 4. I'm getting closer to getting to the point where I want to live off of what I've built instead of what I'm making from exchanging my time for money, working, or running the business, which is a lot of the same thing. So now we retire. So these are all little points where there's vital. It's not just a good idea, but it's vital to have a checkup. What's going on in the head, right? Cabeza, as the guy used to say when I'm golfing, I was in the Dominican Republic, and every time I lifted my head on a golf shot, he said, cabeza. What's going on in your head? What's going on in your cabeza? At all these levels, because that reset can keep the ship sailing toward where you want to go. And then here's the interesting one, and this is what we talked about, Nella and I, was now I've retired. And that just might mean you've got financial freedom. You've got peace because you did some things that went well, some things that didn't, but now you're living off of your Social Security. You're living off of maybe the sale of a business. You're living off of a part-time job. Maybe a spouse is involved, whatever's going on, right? And then you say, wait a minute, I used to spend anywhere from 8 to 28 hours a day. I know that's not possible. You only get 168 a week. Thinking about how was I selling a product? How was I providing a service? How was I working for somebody and doing the things I was doing? And now I'm in this new place in life where this entire definition of who I am that I thought for most of us was what I did. Am I what I do? Right? And now, how do you keep the rudder in the water after you retire? So there's this huge this non-financial component to what is typically treated as just financial, is that I'm going to move into another season of my life. How am I going to spend my time? How am I going to feel valuable and purposeful when I'm not spending somewhere between 8 and 18 hours a day? For entrepreneurs, some people, they just never stop, 24 hours a day, thinking about the service that I'm providing or the product, the business that I'm running. There's a real gap there in the care that people are receiving. So we created a partnership between Sky Peak Financial and Bella Mental Health that we're pretty excited about. It's just kind of getting going.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's always dropping bombs. Like, what?
Where we can do this thing, right? Where our clients can be introduced, and they have already some people kind of in line to have some type of regular conversation and couple it with the thinking that's tied to not really the financial decision, but the who are you and where is your time?
Well, their identity.
Where's your identity?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I think, when we've been talking about this for several months, it's more of like I said, even with today's topic, everything, we need money. It affects everybody. And so finance, we have to have it. Yeah. So it's like, but like you said, like when people are getting into that zone of like retirement and they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. We see that with our military too. Mm-hmm. A lot of veterans, when they spend 20, 30 years in the service, that was their identity. Mm-hmm. And then they retire. They could have all the retirement. They could have their disability. They can live comfortably financially, but they don't know who they are. They don't know what to do with themselves anymore. And then they go into these deep depression, and we see that. Mm-hmm. So
they've got so much to give.
They do. And so that happens, I know, with people that you have business with. Every single time that they run into all these struggles now, financially, with their family, personally. They don't know who they are anymore without their business or what they were doing their entire life. So now it ties in the piece, okay, that's where we come in.
There's a solution.
Yeah.
There's a discussion.
That's where we come in. We have to help them with their families, if they have divorce, if they have kids, what legacy they're trying to leave with their children. Like, all that is important.
Absolutely.
So they can have actionable steps, to some extent, depending on the level of struggle, coping mechanisms. Mm-hmm. They can have real life examples of people who said, oh, great. My favorite is the story of the woman with the 20-year business plan at age 80. Like, let it rip. There's a company out in California that teaches real estate lending and lenders how to build a business by referral. It's a very loving organization. I won't give it a specific endorsement for this particular conversation, but they were impactful on me. And the owner and chairman has become somewhat of a celebrity in the real estate industry, has been for many years. So you don't call the company and say, hey, let me talk to Brian. You do, and they say, great, we'd love to see you at a retreat. we'd love to send you a little bit of information on how to get a coach. We'd love to get you on get you access and show you how to log into the podcast. So this woman calls the business to talk to the owner, Brian, and says, I want to talk to Brian. And they hit her with all those little standard deflection, right? Gatekeeper type stuff to help her and bring her in. And she says, listen, I'm 80 years old. I'm a real estate professional and I have a 20-year business plan. I want to talk to Brian and I want to talk to him now. And he took the call.
Heck yeah, he did.
Right? She probably could have called the White House. And she sold real estate until she was like 97 years old.
I love that.
So it's not too late to do the thing that you wanted to do. I mean, if it's Shaquille O'Neal and you wanted to be a jockey, it's probably not going to work out. You just picture him with his legs dragging on the ground. It's probably not going to work. Yeah. The horse isn't going to like it. It's going to lose every race unless you're kind of like Diesel. Unless you're mid-stoning it with the feet at the same time. So, but from a practical standpoint, you can explore and accept challenges in this next season of life that are every bit as impactful, if not even more so, than things ever were.
Can I ask you a quick question though? Because I think this kind of ties in. Because I mean, I'm hearing you and I love this, and oh yeah, girl, we're going to chat. So excited. But anyway, most of those people are not mental health people, age-wise. This is what I'm saying. You know, like generationally. If we go back to generation, how do we even get them to even have an idea of being able to ask for help, especially like I hate to say it, but the males, the older gentlemen who
stubborn. Okay, so who's their counselor now? Who said at age 60 or age 55, how are you feeling about your finances? Who said to them, if we weren't talking today, what do you think you'd be doing next? When the market does that, how does that make you feel? Do you think there's a solution? How would you feel if tomorrow you were ready to start retirement and it happened to coincide with a year where the market was dropping that whole year? That could be devastating, right? Yeah. And they start to learn, and that foundational trust gets built. The definition of their stability gets clear. Hey, wait, that also pours over into success. And if they're really retiring, they probably have a stronger level of financial security, right? And in that conversation, because it's not just a good idea, you'll hear me say this a lot, but it's vital, is, while we're doing this, you're going to have a whole lot of free time. Well, they've already said, yes, this is my name. Yes, this is my social security number. Yes, this is my date of birth. Yes, manage my money. By the way, let me introduce you to some very, very important partners of ours who have a program designed specifically for you because of how strong you are, how well you've done, and how valuable you are to the community that you live in, the people who love you. Would you be open to a conversation? Because I can't wait to see what you do next.
Yep, that's empowering them. Right.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, because I would,
because I have this conversation and they're ready.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, we talk about all the time, even like, that's all I keep thinking about is, even it goes back to our interview when I came to the company and she said, and I said, I know it's kind of weird. I love to work with men because I'm such an athlete and I see these guys, and especially these older men that are so lost. They don't know what they can do. They don't know how to do it. And of course, I work with kids my whole life, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Like these young mentor, big brother, like anything. I'm always thinking about having a purpose, pour into these generations who are fatherless and everything else. But it's like, I can't touch them. I can't get to them. That's when I was like, God, to know that we've got a way to bridge that.
They're ready for that.
Thank you.